This is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of No Other Pod. I'm Jimmy, along with my award-winning good friend, Daniel Kooser. Look at it. There.
I got it. I got it right here.
What's going on?
Just winning acting awards, my friend, because end scene. Stuff's good, dude. Stuff's good. Watched the game. Had to catch the replay on Sunday. Hell of a time.
Yeah.
Kept getting updates on my watch in a theater Saturday night, and I whisper to Marissa, I'd be like, 2-0 at halftime, so that's scary. And then it was 3-0. I was like, holy shit, Eric Tommy, 3-0. Here we go.
Yeah. And then in your acceptance speech, you said, I'd like to thank Jonathan F. Russell for the inspiration.
Sure. Hey, that man does not care about pain at all. He seemed like he might have been hurt, and he was like, what does that mean? You know I'm Scottish, bro. Like, I want to play through this.
He did have an interesting quote after the game we'll talk about. I'm hoping we can see him on Saturday against St. Louis, because that's a freaking huge game. It's probably the biggest game of the season. So
that's a big one. And if you're watching us on YouTube, I dug out the old 2013 Argyle kit, right? 2014, is that right?
2013, 2014. It was the third kit. Yeah,
feeling like a can of biscuits in this thing. I'm about to, don't punch me with a spoon, because I'll pop right out of there. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite things in the world. It is so satisfying to pop a can of biscuits.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
Agree. Absolutely. The sound, the feeling. Oh my God.
So good. You're like, look at those biscuits. I'm about to bake those up.
And that's not a euphemism.
Or pizza dough in a biscuit can. Look at Nick. What is this? What a Hulk. What a rebel. Why does he do that?
Nick says he smashes it against the counter until it explodes. Okay.
No, dude. What are you, caveman? It says grab a spoon. You're supposed to grab a spoon. Who is this man?
Well, Daniel is very much by the rules.
By the book, bro. Seriously, it's on the back. You're supposed to do what it says. It doesn't say, hey, if you have a counter nearby, go ahead and smash it on the end of the counter. It'll be just fine. Look at this guy. Strategically slams it into the counter. I can't. Get out the chat, Nick. Get the hell out the chat.
I have to say, coming off a 3-0 victory after a month off, I didn't think we'd spend the first few minutes talking about how to open Pillsbury biscuits, but you never really know.
Listen, not sure Pillsbury's vegan, but I definitely get down on some biscuits and some pizza dough in the canister like that.
Because I guess there's probably eggs or whatnot in the dough, huh?
Oh, I don't know, man. You got dum-dums putting milk inside of bread these days. Was going to buy some hoagie rolls yesterday because I was making a little vegan chopped cheese.
Okay. Okay.
And couldn't get these hoagie rolls because there's milk in them.
Milk.
And I was like, milk does not need to go in bread.
It does
what
not.
Are you doing?
No. So. Did you ever get in the bake your own bread craze during the height of the pandemic?
Didn't get into that. No. Have yet to get down on that. Why did you?
No, I just saw a lot of people did. Sourdough especially, that was like the big thing. People had like the mother for the sourdough, and that's how you would keep a little bit every time before you made the next batch. So,
what do you think that was about, by the way? Why do you think people got so into baking bread?
They were bored as hell.
But there's Netflix for being bored. I mean, baking bread, that's such a niche.
Even myself, who I enjoy television, I'll sit there for a number of hours watching something, and I'm like, I have to get up off this couch. I have to go do something that at least feels productive. And if you're going to do something that feels productive and you can't leave your house, you might as well do something you can then eat. So,
I don't know. I feel very productive watching a whole season of Yellowstone.
Well, yeah. I mean, hey, I've done it. So
have you watched Yellowstone, by the way?
No, I have not, because I'm not a 62-year-old man.
That's fucked up of you to say. That's not even nice. Not even fucking nice. The thing is, I feel like that show unites left liberals and right-wing conservatives. It's one thing that they freaking share together, dude, because there's liberals talking about this show.
Oh, no, everybody likes Yellowstone, it seems, especially if you're 58 years old.
I will kill you. I'm not even playing around. All right, I'm an award winner.
You are. I'm sorry.
It shows some goddamn respect.
It was disrespectful. I should be honored to be on here with you. Your time is very valuable.
You're right. I'm a toothpick guy now. I don't know if you know. I'm a toothpick guy.
I can see that. Yeah, it's got to your head. But
I watch Yellowstone, so I have a toothpick.
Just next week, it's going to be just like a piece of hay sticking out. You're going to have a cowboy hat.
Some hay, man. Where'd you get that hay? I don't know.
I found Yellowstone. Well, before we get into the game, if you haven't left us a 5-star rating and review, please go ahead and do so, because what other podcast can you talk about sporting Kansas City soccer, Yellowstone, and baking biscuits all in the first 5 minutes?
Man, I regret putting on this jersey. I can't really breathe.
Dale, we passed out by the end of this hour.
Buddy, they used to make these so much smaller than they do now. This is a large.
Yeah.
This is what I wear,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. Getting lightheaded.
Yeah. We talked about that last time. And like I said, I got my state line from 2013 up there, and if I put it on, it would not be good. So
I thought I'd try it.
I am.
I thought I'd pull it out for the bit, commit.
You're going to get progressively more and more purple as the episode goes on until you're just...
Can you imagine? We come back from the first break, and I'm just falling asleep.
Well, yeah, leave your 5-star rating and review. We would appreciate it, and we'll make sure we read it on here. But let's jump into this, because this was, man, it felt like it's been 84 years since Sporting Kansas City played a soccer game. It was
3 weeks, right?
Yeah, like 22 days off, 25 days, I don't know, a long time, too long. And I didn't, I had hoped that we would come out and look good against San Jose. We have 9 games left. It's among the fewest remaining games of all teams in MLS. I think we had 5 points to make up across those 9 games heading into the game. So just to get into 9th place, to have a chance at the play-in game to make it into the actual playoffs. So, I was a little nervous, didn't know what the team would look like, if there would be rust or whatnot. But San Jose also had some time off. They didn't make it terribly far. So, and they were coming into Children's Mercy Park, which, even if it's not the fortress it once was, Children's Mercy Park is certainly a much more successful place this year for Sporting KC than the Road. So, felt a little good.
And was I right in thinking that it was Rally Towel night?
It was. I didn't get a rally towel, but I did, since it was the 10th anniversary, get this sweet pennant that it commemorates. Yeah, this was the giveaway. It's commemorating.
They gave that out to everybody?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Call
that
it
is cool.
Rep if you didn't get one, because it's got like a little thing you can hang and everything, and it says on the front, 10th anniversary 2013 MLS Cup, and then on the back it's got the Sporting KC and RSL crest. It says 1-1, and then it says 7-6 after extra time, and it's got the date.
Look, we, just a couple weeks ago, we talked a lot of shit about how they don't even do giveaways anymore, and that's a pretty cool one, albeit it's you're commemorating a championship 10 years ago. Feels like forever, I guess. I don't know.
It's good quality. It feels legitimate.
Yeah,
so it'll last for a while. It's not like cheap, material. This thing will last. So
I guess I don't know. It feels like a weird flex to celebrate a 10-year-old championship, right? Is it? Do we feel weird?
I mean, or it's just 10th anniversary. I don't think it's for a team that only has 2 in their history. I don't blame them for celebrating the 10-year anniversary of it. They had a number of players who were there. It was very cool seeing them all together.
Yeah,
it made it really put it into perspective how crazy it is that Graham Zusi is still playing, because you look at some of the guys out there and you're like, damn, he still got it.
You see them all in a line, and it's the perfect representation of the phrase, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah.
It's like these guys have gone on to, whether it's a coaching career or like real estate or something, and then there's Graham, who could suit up next week,
Just there chilling.
And Jacob Peterson, brother, we saw you getting hyped, man, leading the I believe chant, and you dropped your beer, bro. And I saw Seth Sinovic. Sinovic didn't even try to help. He just laughed at you. What a friend.
It was Jacob, it was Seth, and it was Kevin Ellis, who I think were the 3 leading the I believe chant.
Yeah. Indoor soccer legend Kevin Ellis.
It was the first time he'd been back in a while in a sporting capacity, but I mean, those 3 were there: Jimmy Nielsen, Matt Beasler, Benny Feilhaber, Ike Opara, Chance Myers, Lawrence Ullum, Paulo Nagamura. It was cool just to see them all on the field again at the same time. And what was really cool, I don't know if you saw any of the highlights from halftime, they had MLS Cup out there. They brought it out. They gave it to Jimmy Nielsen because he was the captain. He got everybody together. He brought the trophy down low, and then he jumped up, and they did the whole thing like they just got awarded the trophy. It was fun. So I had a good time.
Yeah, I saw him and Zeus. He kissed it. They didn't really show much at halftime.
I did have someone with me who he was at a sporting game for the first time, and he had never seen MLS Cup. And so I was walking around the stadium ahead of the game, showing him the stadium. We walked by, and he's like, "Oh, is that the trophy?" And I was like, "Yeah," because they had it out in the plaza. They showed it to him. He took a picture, and he was like, "That's a really cool looking trophy." He was like, "That's better than the Lombardi trophy in terms of just how it looks." And I was like, "Yeah, MLS Cup. It's, from somebody who's not, they're a sports fan, but they're not crazy into soccer. They looked at that and they're like, that's one of the better looking trophies I've seen."
Hey, as far as appeal, MLS Cup's got some good sex appeal, man. It looks good. I mean, the Lombardi trophy is what? A little prism with a football on top?
Yeah.
I mean, that's about it.
Obviously, like in terms of prestige, it's one of the most prestigious you can win, but
exactly.
Design-wise,
we're talking aesthetics.
MLS Cup looks pretty cool. I would say MLS Cup and, Stanley Cup. Lord Stanley's Cup is probably the best looking trophy in American sports. But MLS Cup, I would say, that's up there with the World Series trophy.
Now, one of my biggest takeaways from the evening's events is that Peter Vermees tracks a workout on the sideline.
You said that.
Listen, the camera, it could have been an accident. We've all tracked workouts on our Apple Watch by accident.
When you see my 3.5 hour walks where I walked a grand total of 0.1 miles or whatever.
Look, I'll be at work for a couple hours and I'll get notified that Marissa finished a strength workout, which we did at like 6 a.m. And I'm like, What are you doing?
She's been doing it for 7 hours.
Exactly. But I kind of wondered, I'm like, do you think this man starts a workout like an outdoor walk? Because that's what he does. Yeah. Yeah. So he can look after. Maybe his doctor told him, like, hey, you're getting too worked up at these games. You should really track your shit. I don't know. I just thought it was neat because I could see the workout thing going as he was on the sideline. So that's the thing. You don't get that at the stadium, dude. We got two different looks,
perspectives.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. But yeah, this was a big game. A lot of buzz around it with the 2013 team that was back. It was Tim Melia's first game back. I had sent you a message before that we had heard Tim Melia was probably going to be starting tonight.
Because you got secret info, dude. You got secret fucking info.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So Melia back. The rest of the lineup looked pretty much normal, although the one notable thing was when I got to the stadium, it was about an hour and a half before kickoff, maybe a little more. Saw Gadi Kinda out there doing a little bit of warm-ups and such, some light workout on the field, which I was like, that's interesting. Everybody else is just now getting here. Kinda's already out on the field doing some warm-ups. Found out he was a late scratch last minute, picked up a knock in training, so that's why he was not available on the night. But
do you know what the announcer said? Like when the game started and they were announcing the lineups, they said Gadi Kinda failed a fitness test. That's what they said.
Harsh.
I know. And I was like, fitness test? What? And then later on, they said he got injured during pregame warm-ups.
Oh, yeah. Peter said he just hurt his ankle in the final training before the game, and he'll be back next week.
Okay. Definitely didn't fail some exam that no one takes.
He couldn't pass the presidential fitness exam, and that we all took in 5th grade, and now we're unable to play.
Adrian Healy over here just spreading fake news, dude.
Yeah. I did almost, as is customary, there's somebody I almost crash into going into the bathroom every week. This week it was Adrian Healy.
Oh, okay. Got to take a pee-pee with Adrian, huh?
Yeah, he was coming out. I was going in. We said, hi, how you doing? And that was it.
That was it, huh?
Yeah. But yeah, so Tim Melia was back. That was the highlight of it.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, pretty solid lineup. So before we jump into the game, why don't we go ahead? We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll break down exactly what happened in Sporting KC's 3-0 victory. We'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Oh, hey, what's up, dog? Sorry, just looking at my acting award. Not a big deal.
Ridiculous.
That popped you pretty good.
I don't know why the first thing I thought of was like when you come back from break when you're watching Mr. Rogers, and he's like, "Oh, hello, hi neighbor, how are you doing?" Like,
Right.
and then like he didn't know you were there.
Like he's just polishing like his vases and stuff. And just, oh, hello.
It is pretty cool. No, you actually got to like dress up and go to a legit award ceremony and such, right?
Dressed up, man, but I'm a sneaker guy, so I had to wear the Adidas Stan Smith sneakers with the suit,
Yeah.
But no, it was cool. I had to sing though. I had to sing a song as well. Where it's like a basic award show, sketches, songs, awards, all sorts of stuff.
Did someone do a monologue where they roasted everybody?
Nah, that was not a thing.
Be kind of funny. It'd be
pretty
tough though. So, but yeah, congrats, awesome.
Yeah, man.
Let's jump into this game. San Jose coming in, a couple of players that have been subject to some European transfer rumors, both Cade Cowell and Jeremy Ebobisse, both very good, relatively young players.
Cade Cowell ain't playing like it. That man had not a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it was overall for San Jose, it wasn't the best. They have some solid players. Christian Espinoza, Jeremy Ebobisse, and Cade Cowell are a pretty formidable front three. But Sporting KC did not waste any time whatsoever coming to play, because it was in the second minute. I might have bled into the third minute. I think it technically did bleed into the third minute. It was just after the clock struck 2. Johnny Russell from the far right side sends a cross in. It goes just over Alan Polito's head, falls maybe to the foot of Daniel Shallowy, and then into the side netting. Daniel Shallowy claimed it. Daniel Shallowy was given the official goal. I still haven't seen a definitive angle that shows Daniel Shallowy actually touched the ball.
I think he got it. I mean, just freaking barely, just enough to direct it in there. It might have gone in without that, honestly.
Probably.
But even still, just no one marked Daniel at all.
It was weird. They just cycled the ball around, and Daniel just kind of,
snuck in there. His defender just stopped. His defender just stopped and let him go. And it's like, that's not how you play this game, bro.
It was very, very strange. I mean, he runs right past the penalty spot. And, Carlos Acapo, he just lets Daniel go, and he gets a free touch on the ball. And like you said, it probably would have gone in even if Daniel dummied it or didn't touch it. Daniel was asked after the game, can you say definitively you got a touch on the ball? And he was like, yes, I did. And then Peter actually jumped in and was like, I saw him get a touch on the ball. So Peter's dead set convinced that Daniel got a touch too.
Yeah, they basically interrupted Daniel Sperry almost. Like, as he was asking the question, they were like, yes.
Yeah. And Johnny had a little fun with it after. He was like, Daniel tried to take it. I told him I thought I was getting it, but, they had a good time with it. It's always fun vibes when it's a win.
Was it a cross or was it a shot?
It was a cross.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely a cross, but that won't stop Johnny from trying to say, hey, nobody touched it. It should be my goal. So
yeah, you got to love that kind of banter, right? Like they're not being dicks to each other or anything.
No.
It's, they're having fun. They scored 3 goals on the night, for God's sakes, and a shutout. I'm sure they had just the best time.
It was fun. Yeah, no, they're not pulling a Cristiano Ronaldo and throwing their hand up for offside when their own teammate scores a goal. Which I don't know if you saw that, but his teammate scores a goal. Ronaldo looks to the side and throws his arm up. And I'm like, are you calling for offside because you didn't get the goal? What is happening?
Why did he do that?
I don't know.
Oh, my Lord.
It's weird. That man could have played here. But
imagine what our team would be like if he was here. It would be weird.
It would not be what's happening in Miami with Messi, that's for sure.
I don't think so. Yeah, are we going to have Messi next week, by the way?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
You think he'll go Argentina?
I didn't realize it was a World Cup qualifier that they're having down there. I'm like, the World Cup still feels like it's years away. But yeah, no, they're already starting the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers.
So he will go then.
I mean, I would have to imagine.
But even though he's not going to play in the World Cup.
I would think not. I mean, I would, if I were him, I just would have retired from international football, literally winning the World Cup. But
I know.
I'm not him, so
interesting.
No, but yeah, no, he'll probably be with Argentina. But we should find out anytime. Who knows? But yeah, Daniel, he gets the goal in the 3rd minute, and I didn't really know what to think because I'm not used to this Sporting KC team getting off to such a fast start. What's interesting is they're not actually. it's not terribly uncommon for them to get some chances. There have been a number of games this year where they've come out real hot out the gate and they've gotten a couple solid chances. They just don't tend to put them away in the first 2 or 3 minutes, and this set them up for a huge head start just a couple minutes into the game.
Oh, yeah. And in no way are you feeling comfortable at all. Like, it's an early lead. It's like, okay, let's keep this momentum going.
Right.
This is nice. Let's see what the defense can do when San Jose inevitably comes at you with their fast firepower.
For sure. I definitely didn't think this game was going to end 1-0, and I was not comfortable with Sporting KC sitting back and just trying to defend for 87 minutes plus stoppage time. And they did not do that. They stayed aggressive. If you look at the stats, and it's interesting because this game wasn't necessarily the typical Sporting game, at least through much of the first half. Possession was almost even 50-50 at the end of the first half, even though Sporting had a 2-0 lead. We'll talk about that second goal here soon. It was a relatively even split, and then for the end of the first half and most of the second half is really where Sporting pulled away in possession and ended up with nearly 60% possession. But Sporting outshot San Jose 15-11, 6-2 on goal, 631 passes to 427, 92% passing accuracy for Sporting Kansas City. Usually there's somewhere between like 80, 82, 84. 92% passing accuracy is wild. Sporting just from the get-go seemed to be the more dominant side.
Yeah, man. I mean, 2 first-half goals says it all, really. I mean, you can't ask for a better start than that.
And it almost got derailed. I forget the exact minute. I feel like it was somewhere around the 15th minute or so, maybe a little after, give or take, when Johnny Russell was crashing into San Jose's box, trying to get around a defender, and he turns his ankle hard. He goes down, and like you said, Johnny's a tough guy, a proud Scotsman. He's not one to go to ground and make a meal out of something if it's not serious. And from the press box where I saw him wincing and grabbing and signaling and flailing, and I instantly was concerned that not only was Johnny going to have to come out of this game, but that this might be a long-term injury.
Do you have TVs up there to see replays and stuff?
There are, but they're not positioned very well. So usually I have MLS Season Pass going on my computer so I can go back and rewind and watch stuff.
It looked bad. It looked real bad. It hurt to watch. Anyone who's ever rolled their ankle in basketball or whatever, just, oof. You do, if it's a sprain, but the dude just played and just kept going.
He was down for quite a while. It was a little scary, and then they got him off the field, and it was a little scary. After the game, he said it's pretty sore, but it's still fresh. He'll get treatment on it and try to stop the swelling to get it under control. Then they'll reassess in a couple of days. He was asked if, when he first was injured, if he thought it was going to force him out of the match. And this is what I thought was interesting, and this is how you know it's kind of a serious, or felt kind of serious at the time. He goes, initially when the pain first hit, I thought I was going to have to come off. But then it kind of went a little bit numb. I could still feel the pain, but the adrenaline gets you through it. So I asked them if they could just strap it, and I can give it a try. I managed to sort of get myself through halftime. Sort of, okay, Johnny, it's pretty good. But nowhere near moving the way I wanted to. And then I came out in the second half, and I was really a man down for the team. I don't want to be out there to try to be a hero and cost my team something because I can't do my job, I can't track a runner, or I make a mistake. So it was a smart decision to take me out. It's captain.
It's the captain.
I mean, just to be able to, like you said, as much as he's a competitor, to be able to be like, you got to take me out. I'm more of a detriment to the team than I am an addition. I mean, that's cool.
Here's my favorite storyline from the game overall is hearing how great of a goalkeeper San Jose has, and then for us to pop 3 goals on that dude. And test him. Now, he had some fingertip saves, by the way, that caused balls to go into the crossbar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We tested him a lot more than what he actually let in. But here I was thinking like, Daniel's no Daniels, and you're not as good.
Well,
you're not the best, my friend.
His name is just Daniel.
Yeah,
so.
It's just it. I mean, that's how we get down, man. We're good goalkeepers until we're not.
Yeah, that's true. Have you ever been a goalkeeper in any of the league games that you played?
Yes, it sucks.
It seems terrifying.
It's awful, dude. Dude, I thought we talked about this one time probably, but I went to ground as a guy tried to shoot the ball and it went right into my nuts. Into my nuts. And it was the worst. And everyone's like, great stop. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, it does suck.
I don't have a leg for a goal kick. I hate it. I was having other people do a goal kick because
Oh, really?
I'm a wuss. And then I threw the ball one time and hurt my shoulder. I was like, this position is the worst. I hate it.
And Tim Elia's out there just taking a beating every time.
Yeah. I had to buy a brace for my shoulder because I played stupid goalkeeper twice. Like a compression thing. It was ridiculous.
You got to get the whole keeper throw down and such, but
I don't have it.
you just rolling it out to your central defender and just like, play it out of the back. And they're like, it's a rec league. What are we doing?
Last one I'll say, I tipped one over the crossbar and the referee calls corner kick and everyone's like, what? You didn't even touch it. Did you touch it? I was like, yeah, man, I saved it. I did that.
I want credit.
Yeah, it's corner
It's
kick.
like that ad when it's the youth basketball game and the ref's like, out of bounds this way. And then the kid goes up to the ref. He's like, no, I touched it. And then it comes up. It's like integrity. Pass it on.
I haven't seen that, but that's exactly what that was.
Yeah. Johnny was hurt. He came back in. You could tell he was very ginger on that leg. He was not moving well. He was limping quite a bit.
You said ginger.
I did. There was one part where I definitely thought he was going to have to come out, but he found bursts. Like he said, it probably went numb. He found bursts, and in the 42nd minute, the ball gets laid off to him by Nemanja Radoja, and he does vintage Johnny Russell, nutmegs a dude, drives into the box, splits a couple defenders, and then off of his left foot sends the ball toward the goal. It bounces off a San Jose defender and goes into the net. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if that ball goes in if it doesn't bounce off the defender. The angle's real tight.
Yeah, so why wasn't it an own goal? Why did they give it to him?
They must have determined that it was considered a shot on goal. If it was off frame and it was not a shot on goal, it could have been considered an own goal, but they must have just determined that it was a shot on goal and it was an incidental deflection.
Wow.
I don't know. There's really no angle that's right down the line, so it's hard to see exactly where the ball would have went. It might have bounced in, and so, I mean, if it's close and they're not sure, I'm glad they give it to the attacker instead of calling it an own goal. But
either way you take it, because you don't need the numbers. You just need your team to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal.
Yeah. And what's huge is going into halftime up 2-0 as opposed to 1-0 makes that decision about what to do with Johnny Russell much simpler in the second half if you don't give up anything stupid. It's much easier to say, hey, you know what, Johnny, you got to come off. Kyrie, you have to go on. You don't have to be a hero and go score a goal. Use your size, use your physicality. Just keep this game from getting, keep San Jose from getting back in the game by getting another goal. That's much more what Kyrie Shelton is suited for than going out and being an active goal scorer.
Yeah, man. I mean, with Johnny getting a goal and an assist, that brought him up to 100 combined goals and assists.
That's wild.
You know that? He is the third player in club history to reach that mark.
That's pretty cool. I mean, he's going to be up there one of these days in the sporting legends. I mean, he is. To earn the captain's band the way he has, to do everything he has for this club. It would be great if he could get an MLS Cup. I mean, players like him and Tim Melia that have been here for a while, Daniel Shallowy, it would be great for them to sort of cap off their sporting careers with an MLS Cup. Obviously, Zusi Espinoza, they've won them. But it's one of the bummers that, a player like Ilya was here for so long and he had to go to LA to get his MLS Cup. It's a little bit of a bummer, but you'd like to see the guys that are still here get one.
You said Espinoza's won MLS Cup?
Wasn't he? Or no, he left right before, I guess. Yeah.
He did. That was a big thing for him. He left, and then they won it the next year.
Yeah. For some reason, I was thinking he was here and then left. But no, you're right. He left right before to go to Wigan.
He got the Open Cup in 2012 and the FA Cup, sure.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing. And coming back, he's like, I was so upset that they won the MLS Cup, and I want one for myself.
I had the timeline all mixed up in my head. So, yeah. Well, Roger deserves one too.
Yeah.
But So 2-0 at the half, feeling pretty good. Then, you're just keeping things going. But I leaned over to someone to the left of me in the middle of the game, and I was like, Sporting obviously is being a little bit more conservative in their attack, but I still have a feeling that, they might pick their spot, and if they smell blood, go for it. And literally right as I was saying it, Eric Tommy drove and then fired a laser of a shot from outside the box and kind of fooled Daniel. Daniel probably thought he was going to the far post. Nope. Eric shot it to near post, caught Daniel leaning just a little bit, and that made it 3-0.
Look, this was a 39 pass sequence
Mm-hmm.
leading up to this goal.
Mm-hmm.
They went forward, they kicked the ball around, and
The one player who didn't touch it?
who's that?
Daniel Shalhoub. It's the only player on the field that did not touch the ball in that build-up.
This is the longest passing sequence leading to a goal since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Not just club history, but MLS, right?
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Look,
That's almost 10% of the team's total passes for the game were in that one sequence.
to think that Eric Tommy wasn't going to start this game, I mean, he was going to start on the bench. Gadi Kinda was going to be out there. So, not upset that we have two interchangeable players such as Gadi Kinda and Eric Tommy that can crush it on the field.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. In the locker room after the game, we were talking to Eric Tommy about what this means and whatnot, and he was his locker's in between Tim Leibold's and Robert Voladers, and so they were talking to each other in German before we walk up. They're messing around, and Leibold kept interjecting and yelling things in the middle of Tommy's interview, and Tommy must have got just a little bit annoyed at one point because he turns and he snaps and says something in German to Leibold, and then Leibold, not in a mean way, but in a, hey, knock it off, I'm talking. And Leibold didn't say anything anymore during the interview.
Okay. Did it sound mean, though?
It sounded
come on, though. German can sound mean.
Well, yeah, but it sounded like, when brothers are kind of messing around with each other, and then one just goes a touch too far, and the other one's like, hey, knock it off.
Yeah, cut the shit.
It's all good fun.
Isn't that weird? I think about languages sometimes. I'm like, German does have that mean, serious undertone. Eric Tommy seems like a freaking general when he talks, right?
Yeah.
And I start thinking, what would be the nicest sounding language? Is it Italian?
Maybe.
French, maybe. I don't know. They sound a lot nicer.
French, yeah. French sounds French or Italian or Spanish, I guess. The love languages.
Yeah, gotta be.
No.
And then German comes in. It's like, get out of my face.
You see, we think the game is going to end 3-0. It's looking that way. And then, of course, 90th minute, there's a penalty. It's a good call. Logan Denme just brings the man down in the box. And you're like, damn it, I really wanted that clean sheet. But then you remember.
Incidental contact.
It was, even Melia and Peter after the game were like, yeah, it's foul. But sure. Then you remember Tim Melia's in goal. And that's against Pulskamp.
Going to stop it on his first game back.
Why not? He's Tim Melia.
Why not? Because he's been hurt. And I just expect this penalty taker, who's been pretty good, to not take a shitty penalty. Because it was a shitty penalty.
It was not great, but
he just rolled it over there.
It was not very powerful whatsoever.
No.
Probably because he was scared, because he's like, oh shit, I'm going against Tim Melia, who saved nearly half the penalties he's ever faced in his career.
Tim just goes, I'll save that.
Yeah.
He just falls down. Nope.
Tim saves it. Game ends 3-0. Everybody's happy. So
everybody's happy. You see that and you're like, all right, even if they get one back, it's fine. We probably have this game in the bag.
But it'd be a bummer.
The clean sheet still feels pretty sick, especially when your goalkeeper just returned.
Yeah. Just from a mental standpoint, to give up something like that at the very end, it would deflate feelings a little bit. So for him to sort of come back, and it's like, yeah, Tim's still that guy, even if it was a bad penalty. He's still that guy who can stop it, just carries that momentum forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty cool. Let's take our second break, and then there's a lot more to talk about because we are getting up to St. Louis City Week here. So we'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Listen, you ready for my movie of the week? I do this to you.
Okay.
Buddy, we went to National Cinema Day. This was on Sunday where all tickets were $4.
Yeah.
We saw Gran Turismo.
How was it?
Jimmy, it's good.
Is it? Because
It's-
the marketing has not done it for me.
You think it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And you go to Rotten Tomatoes. Critics are like, man, this is so-so.
Not
But
great.
fans have it at like 98, and for good reason. Now,
Okay.
if you put it up next to like Ford versus Ferrari, remember that movie? That's a great, complete movie. Gran Turismo is just pure fun, and I kind of want to watch it again at home in like my home theater area and just blast the sound, dude, because it was pretty cool.
It's also based on a true story, right? Like a dude who started as a gamer and then ended up actually being a legit racer.
Yeah, and they really throw the gaming aspect into it, like kind of making it look like you're playing the game as he's driving around. Certain little aerial shots look like the game.
That's cool.
You do yourself a favor. I mean, catch it when it streams or whatever. It's
sure.
fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very
The other thing to watch, if you hadn't, I tweeted about it. If you have Max, go watch BS High, the
We
documentary.
did watch it.
Oh my God.
Look,
I'm not going
that
to
was
spoil it for
wild.
people, but if you remember the fake high school who got on ESPN playing IMG Academy,
Got their ass kicked.
it's way beyond football. Go watch it.
That guy at the end was like, hey, I'm gonna go. He basically was like, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah. It's a sociopath, but
I can't stand that man.
it's wild. So it's pretty
He's
crazy.
just gonna ruin kids' lives. No big deal.
Coming out of that game, worth shouting out, Johnny Russell, Tim Melia, both made team of the match day starting 11, and Nemanja Radoja made team of the match day on the bench, along with someone named Lionel Messi. So that basically means Nemanja Radoja is as good as Lionel Messi.
And Eric Tommy is nominated for goal of the match day.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
dude,
not
it's
gonna
been a
win,
while
but-
since we've seen big representation from our team on these lists.
Lionel Messi's going to win that, which sucks, but
Well, it does suck because
It was like-
here's the thing. Leo Messi was going to lose the semifinals of U.S. Open Cup. They were down like 2-1 or some shit.
Yeah.
And I jokingly say to my wife, I say, well, the script writers aren't going to like this, so the referees are going to have to extend injury time so they can tie it and send it into extra time.
yeah.
Sure enough, that's what happened, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I am just, why? What is going on with this man who sold his soul to the devil? And they're like, hey, would you like to stop growing and be a very short man but be very good at soccer?
Right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Well, and this is even him on HGH. He had to take some HGH as a kid to get as tall as he is because he was going to be like 5'2". So,
Well, when he wears like those baggy shorts and stuff, it looks like he got into his dad's closet.
yeah, he's starting to look like Florida man with some of his outfits he's choosing down there.
Florida man, yeah, it's insane.
But no, his goal, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's annoying. Actually, the most impressive part is Jordi Alba's touch leading to the goal.
Man,
It's wild.
what is with this team? They were shit. Miami was so bad. And now they got two. They're going to have a second trophy.
Yeah.
There's no way they don't win the Open Cup.
I sent in a Twitter DM to my brother Eddie. I sent him a video or the tweet that showed the highlight of Leo's goal, and it's funny because his reply, he didn't even say anything other than Miami doesn't deserve this, and that was and I think that's true. That's kind of how a lot of us feel. It's like it sucks. They got hit with all these sanctions for breaking the roster rules, and now they're gonna win the treble. So
Probably breaking more roster rules somewhere along the road.
probably.
Like, I hate this. I also hate that we got to hand them their first loss next week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, the first loss in the Messi era.
Right. That's what I meant.
But yeah, no, shout out to Johnny Russell, Tim Melia, and Nemanja Radoja.
Have they seriously not lost since Messi's been here?
They've had some
It's only
clause
been
in
leagues.
regulation because of the
Right.
penalty kicks. But yeah, no, it's only been Leagues Cup, and then this was his first MLS game.
And then they won that game.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's been like 9 games.
It's just crazy.
It's out of control.
Oh my God. I see him every morning on like Sports Center or something. Like, it's wild.
I thought it was like a picture of him at your bedside. You wake up every morning and there he is.
I wake up and I touch it and I'm like, be great, Daniel. Be great.
Either that or Marissa's got a tattoo of his face on her shoulder or something.
She has been getting tattoos. She needs to calm down. The way she spends money on tattoos is how I spend money on shoes. And you know that's a lot.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
St. Louis City is coming into town for the first time this week. We all know we don't need to talk about how it went the first time around when we went to St. Louis. Although Johnny Russell, he did say that game was not what fans deserved, and they have a point to prove now. So St. Louis is coming in what they are calling Blue Hell Week here in Sporting KC, and they have a shirt because they want to fan the flames of this rivalry. It says Soccer Capital of America that Sporting KC is selling leading into this game.
I'm for it because they're playing the game. They're playing into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that there's a little bit of a rivalry. We all know the story of how they sent the cease and desist to stop using that name on a St. Louis podcast because we have it trademarked.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish we, didn't lose so bad to them when we first played them.
Well,
at that game
4-0, but there was a penalty that shouldn't have been a penalty, and then Kendall McIntosh spilled a goal that shouldn't have been spilled. So it shouldn't have been 4-0, but it was.
Did we go down a man for that one or no?
I don't remember us going down a man.
Okay, I don't know. That seems so.
I might have blocked it out, but
nope. Both teams are not who they were then. But St. Louis is still a pretty quality team. I just hope we can.
Still in first place. It's annoying that they aren't because you look at the advanced stats, and I've been saying this all year. They're like 17 or 18 goals above what they should be in terms of goals to expected goals. But they did just lose to Orlando in Orlando, and they have a midweek game against FC Dallas. So
that's good.
Could be a little bit more tired than we are when they come to town on Saturday.
Now, didn't they just see, I watch a lot of ESPN when I'm working out in the morning. I'm pretty sure I saw the top 10, and who were they playing where they intercepted a goalkeeper's clearance and went and scored like a tying goal in the dying minutes of the game? That just happened, right?
Yeah.
You don't remember?
I don't. It happened to St. Louis.
I thought St. Louis was that team.
It could be, and that's happened to they've been gifted goals 17 times this year. So it's certainly possible. All I know is they lost 2-1 to Orlando City, which is great because and they did get a red card in the 90th minute plus 10. Jake Nervinsky, he got a red card, so he's not going to be available for the Dallas game. Now they welcome Dallas. They're still in first place, 4 points ahead of LAFC in the West. They're a full 10 points behind FC Cincinnati in the Supporters Shield race, which is wild that Cincinnati's that good. But this is a huge game. We talked about Sporting needs to win 6, maybe 7 of their final 9 games if they have a shot at making the playoffs. 2 of those are against St. Louis. You got to win this one at home.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was trying to find out what the hell I was talking about with St. Louis, but I think I've lost it.
My fever dream.
Might not have been them at all, but they do it. They've done it all year long. So
oh yeah, they have. It wouldn't have surprised me.
The team is beatable.
Mm-hmm.
The team is beatable. We got to be on our game. It's cool that it's at home.
Yeah,
it's gonna be wild, man. I wish we were doing something cool I don't know. Professional sports don't do this as much. This seems to be like college and high school, like a whiteout or a blue out or something. Like everyone in the stands wears the same color, right?
Yeah. NBA teams do it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like the Miami Heat will do white hot heat night or whatever.
That's right.
But soccer teams, some of the newer teams maybe do it, like Austin with their Verde stuff or whatnot.
But
yeah, no, it would be cool to do a blue hell night, whatever you want to call it, just to make sure that it's packed. And I'm sure St. Louis, I think I've heard they're going to bring 500 fans officially, because that's what they Sporting, I believe, was given. There's going to be a lot more than 500 St. Louis fans in the stadium because they'll find ways to buy tickets. I just hope it's still a distinct Sporting KC advantage, and this doesn't turn into a lot more St. Louis fans than there should be.
Look, they're going to bleed into my section. I just know it. They're going to bleed in.
So you got to fight them.
Yeah, I don't want to fight. I'm not really into that. But I do want to. I don't know. It is fun, to experience the energy from supporting fans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get there. There's also some Sporting fans that will flip them off or yell at them.
Yeah.
And I'm not with them. I'm not with those people. I'm very kind.
I will say, when I went to St. Louis, the St. Louis City fans were very kind to me. and I was wearing a shirt that said Soccer Capital of America, so I was kind of asking to be, dressed up. But no, they were all very chill. So I think those are the best kinds of rivalries, is when you can be chill and civil and like there's a healthy respect there. But then once the games start, like that's where your shit talking comes, is like from what happens on the field. We don't need to be flipping people off and being like, oh, your city sucks and whatever. There's plenty of stuff that we can trash talk about on the field, hopefully, and leave the personal stuff aside.
There's one guy in particular who likes to do this all the time. He likes to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, but let's
yeah. Just
I don't know what that means. Is that like the up yours thing?
Yeah, kind of where you like hit your bicep and shove your other arm up or whatnot.
Yeah. It's like you're just gonna fist a person. It's weird.
I can't say I'm feeling confident going into this game because St. Louis has been on such a tear for most of the season, even if it seems undeserved. I can say I'm hopeful.
I'm excited.
I don't think that we are 4 goals worse than St. Louis. I don't think that was representative of how we performed in that game, and I don't think that's representative of the gap between these two teams. In terms of talent on the field, I'm going to say something crazy. I honestly don't think there's a gap between the talent on the two teams. I think St. Louis is a younger team, which is an advantage in terms of like their energy, and I think they were hungrier in that first game. I think they had a point to prove, and we kind of just fell flat. And I hope that hunger can flip for this game.
I hope we get the win, honestly, because we get another chance to play them. We got to go play them at their place later on in the season, and that's cool. That's such a big rivalry. You got to play them 3 times. I did realize something, by the way. We have 8 games left?
Yes.
And 4 of them are against Minnesota and St. Louis.
Yeah.
That's bonkers.
Yeah.
We got to play both of them twice before the end of the year.
Yeah, Minnesota, they just drew Seattle at home, and Seattle's having some issues. I'm seeing some tweets from Seattle fans, and I'm like, are these about Brian Schmetzer, or are these Sporting KC tweets about Peter Vermees? Because I saw one that was like, why wouldn't he use all the substitutions when we have another game coming up, and why don't they do anything tactically that's different from what they've done before? This is blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
why do they rock bottom our players? Wait, what?
But no, I'm feeling hopeful. Like I said, I think this will be a good game. I can't sit here and predict Sporting KC will win or St. Louis will win or whatnot. I genuinely have no idea. But I think this will be a competitive game. And I think that's all you can hope for as a fan.
Yeah, man. Excited to get back out there and just watch some good soccer. I hope we don't embarrass ourselves again.
Yeah. I do think that this is a prime reason why you don't try to artificially name a rivalry ahead of time with something stupid like barbecue. Because there are too many things now that are just organically bubbling up. This could be the Soccer Capital Derby or something like that is actually based on events that have transpired and not just a fake manufactured name. So hopefully barbecue dies, whether it's the Missouri River Derby or the Soccer Capital Derby or whatever.
I think it's got to be the Soccer Capital one. That makes the most sense, but Sporting won't allow it to be called that. Like, they've trademarked it.
That's one, yeah, maybe. But even amongst the fans, if like, I don't know that like MLS or anybody uses like Hell is Real and official marketing materials or whatnot for like Cincinnati and Columbus. So I don't know. We'll see. But anywho, that's the big Sporting KC news. We're entering, as of now, as of this recording, we're 3 points off of Austin for 9th place, where they have 1 game in hand. But there's some Wednesday games. So whatever happens this weekend, Austin has to play Seattle, Minnesota has to play Colorado. This is one of those weeks where a lot of teams are going to catch up at least a game on Sporting in terms of games played, because we don't have a midweek game. So
yeah,
we'll see. Got to hope for Minnesota and Austin to both lose, I guess, because Colorado's not going to catch us. Seattle's already way above us. And this might be, unfortunately, kind of sucks, you almost have to root for St. Louis to beat Dallas on Wednesday, because we're not going to catch St. Louis, but Dallas is just a few points ahead of us. So it'd actually be better for Sporting for St. Louis to beat Dallas tomorrow night.
Exactly. Didn't St. Louis just have a player get a red card at the very end of the game?
Yes.
But so the thing is, they'll miss the Dallas game. They won't miss the Power game.
Yeah. So looking for Dallas to lose, Austin to lose, and Minnesota to lose. And if that's the case, Sporting could go into the weekend. If Austin loses, Sporting will be level with them on games and only 3 points behind. So it becomes more of a possibility. We'll see.
Okay.
You got anything else Sporting related before? There's a couple just league-wide stuff that I want to hit on, but anything else Sporting before we go to that?
I don't think so, no.
Well, just real quick, a few quick hits, I guess. It seems like it's been legitimately 84 years since we first heard about Inter Miami becoming a thing, and then they finally became a team, and then they didn't have a stadium. They have their fake Erector Set Stadium out there in Fort Lauderdale. Well, as of Monday, at 6:34 p.m., according to MLSsoccer.com, Inter Miami have begun construction on Miami Freedom Park, the 25,000-seat soccer-specific stadium that will be their permanent home. So,
pretty cool.
Things are moving. The renderings look very cool. It looks like a spaceship. It's supposed to be open in time for the 2025 season, which they say aligns with Lionel Messi's final year of his contract. So he'll be 1 year, open that new stadium, and then probably right off into the sunset. So
probably so. How cool.
Cool for Inter Miami. There is a couple of coaching updates, I guess, around the league. Toronto FC have hired John Herdman. He was the Canada men's national team coach, which that one's a little interesting to me because Canada, they've been getting better and they're pretty good. And they're about to be a co-host of the World Cup for the first time. So it's a little interesting to me that you're the coach of the national team, even though it's maybe not as stable of a job as a full-time league coach, that you leave your post as a national team manager right before you're about to host a World Cup. That's pretty wild to me.
That's interesting, yeah. Money talks, though, so you never know.
He's probably getting paid more with Toronto FC. And, some people just prefer to be club managers instead of national team managers. So you get to work with players a lot more hands-on, a lot more consistently. So who knows? But the bigger news, I would argue, that Sporting KC fans might be interested in is about a week ago, I think it was right after we recorded our podcast, Portland Timbers announced that they have parted ways with head coach Gio Savarese. So now they are coachless. They are on the lookout. He's had some good success in Portland, but
yeah, boo freaking who.
It finally came time. And then, of course, anytime a coach gets fired in MLS, that's when the anti-Vermees crowd comes out. They're like, why hasn't Peter Vermees been fired yet? And I think that's not going to happen. Let's see what happens as we finish out these final 8 games. But I think it's pretty clear. That's not happening at this point.
No.
It will be interesting to see who Portland hires, though. I don't know. We shall see. The final thing I wanted to touch on, and I don't want to spend tons and tons of time on this because we're about to be out of time anyway, and I'm guessing you and Chris may talk about it a little more, but I feel like I'd be remiss if we didn't just talk briefly about what happened with Jenny Hermoso, the Spanish footballer who this has just stayed in the news over the last couple of weeks since Spain won the Women's World Cup. It's gotten worse. For those of you who may not be aware, but you probably are, basically the president of the Spanish Football Federation, as the players were up celebrating on the stage and getting their medals and such, grabbed Jenny Hermoso and kissed her on the mouth. And everybody thought it was a little weird. And then she came out after and was like, yeah, no, that wasn't consensual. Didn't like that.
She's like, you thought that was weird? Oh, me too.
And so it's kind of become a big mess because the Spanish Football Federation has not handled this well. And this bleeds over into the men's side too, because they obviously oversee the men's side. But the Current have come out and said, hey, we stand with Jenny Hermoso. NWSL's made a statement. U.S. Soccer's made a statement. U.S. men's national team and Major League Soccer have not made statements yet. But this has just been a wild saga where he's called her a liar. What's his name? Luis Rubiales, the president of the Spanish Football Federation, called her a liar. The Spanish Football Federation came out initially and made a statement and said everything she's saying is a lie and is not true. And this has bled outside of soccer. CNN is now covering this. Celebrities are talking about this. FIFA stepped in and suspended him, and now the Spanish Federation pulled their initial statement back, and now they're claiming they're calling for his resignation. So It just
It's
sucks.
bad. They tried to get her to retract that shit, man. I'm sure they probably offered her some money or something. Like it's been a bad deal. And it's like it would have been one thing too if he like kissed every woman like that.
Still not good.
Still not good, but you at least have something to be like, oh, so that's how he is. Well, that's not great, but that's what he does.
Yeah.
But no, he singled out one person, made her incredibly uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I'm an equal opportunity asshole. All right, like he probably has ruined his career.
You would hope. I mean, there have been reports of other inappropriate things he said about her before and after. Regardless, it's pretty. I mean, they caught it on tape. It was not consensual, and hopefully, the Spanish Football Federation. Yeah, no, it's bad.
He had his hand on her head. It looked very forceful. It's like, whoa, bro, are you guys together? No,
it's bad. Hopefully, there's a lot that goes on in the Spanish Football Federation that probably needs to be like just wiped clean and start over. Hopefully, this is getting the attention now outside of just the soccer world that will be the impetus for that change. I will say, I know it's not an MLS thing. I know we don't typically talk women's soccer on this side. There's the currently that you guys talk about it.
Yeah,
but this, on us. This does feel like it sort of like transcends just women's soccer, and I am disappointed that MLS or the U.S. men's national team haven't come out and made a statement in solidarity, because I think when things like this happen, it's not just on women to point it out themselves and say, hey, this is a problem. The men who are involved in soccer need to stand up and say, hey, this is a problem, because it's shitty men who are causing the problem. So we need to hold them accountable just as much, if not more, than the women are. So I wish the league would say something, but at least as of this recording, they haven't. So,
it takes very little effort to make it seem like you're giving an effort. Like, and what I mean by that, little thing on social media, man. All they have to do is put little something together, little something, and tweet it out. Or X it out, whatever you want to do.
It'd be better than nothing, which is what they're doing.
Just takes a little bit to just show that you support, and they can't be bothered.
So we'll see. It sucks, but, hopefully Jennifer Hermoso and the rest of the Spanish women's national team will be able to look back on this and with fond memories and celebrate, and this won't be such a black mark on it, but it does kind of suck they're going through it now, but,
It's like, I just won the World Cup, but I got to now deal with this sexual harassment shit. Like, that's not great.
It does suck, but just wanted to make mention of that, because that's arguably the biggest soccer story going on around the world right now, quite frankly.
You're correct.
But yeah, that's I think that's about all we have for this week. It's a huge week for Sporting Kansas City. St. Louis coming to town. I think this could really be a game that sets the tone for the last 2 months of the year. If they can beat St. Louis here at home, that just carries momentum through to the final 7 games beyond that. And you never know what will happen. So looking forward to that. But thank you so much for listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram at NoOtherPod, at Dan Kooser, at JCMac03. Shoot us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com. If you have something longer you want to say, leave that 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you check us out, KCSN Soccer on YouTube or on the KC Sports Network app. But until next time, he's Dan. I'm Jimmy. We'll catch y'all later. See ya.
Hey, look, I'm 2 for 3 on these bad boys, by the way.